Opportunities are primarily of two kinds. The ones that avail themselves and the ones you create. But opportunities on a whole are dependent on the following. Because many a times the opportunities we see are actually opportunities that have already been taken, which is indicative of what opportunities are, or what it takes to actually benefit from an opportunity. One, you have to be able to identify the opportunity. Two, you have to be able to take the challenge of addressing the opportunity. So opportunities as a whole are very conceptual and general and theoretical, abstract and broad things. It's not something that you can actually assign anything to until you identify it in its specific terms and you address it. Now, this again brings us back to the one thing: you. Opportunities that are available are a reflection of the people that exist in that environment. We talk about the United States of America being the land of opportunities. And depending on how you view America, every possible aspect of development and progress has been addressed. People have done so much, yet it's still the land of opportunities. Why? Because the people perceive the opportunities to be in existence. So much so that even if they're not there, they create them. So my biggest challenge to young people is to take that step. Move away from waiting for someone to tell you that there's an opportunity over there. Because under normal circumstances, if an opportunity is that good, why would anyone tell you about it? And move to a situation where you actually create opportunities from where you are at. I'll give you a very basic example. In the workplace. In the workplace, a lot of people struggle because they feel they're not given opportunities to do the kind of work they would like to do. I challenge them to think in reverse. One of the things that I always have done in my life and in my career is to take the bird in hand and make the most of it. So even in the current job you are in, you can demonstrate skills and competencies and capabilities that outstrip the job you are doing. You can create your own opportunity in terms of the way you approach the work you do. But you'd find a lot of people get frustrated, then they become bitter, and then they stop to work because they feel like they're not given opportunities. And as a consequence, what they do is they even compromise the possibility of getting the opportunities that could have been availed to them if they actually demonstrated the potential. And the reality is the following. Life is about two things, especially in the world of employment, and even in general in the world of employment, whether it be self-employment or being employed by someone else. There are two things: potential and experience. And over time, your potential offsets, your experience offsets your potential. So Whatever you do is a trade-off between the experience you're gaining and the potential you had. Which means you will not always have potential. Potential is something that lasts, but for so long, after some time, people will assess you based on the experience you have accumulated given what you've been doing over that period of time. So, everything you do can be referenced as your experience. And this is important to note because it's not just what you do that matters in the world today. It's how you do it. So even if you're not happy with the opportunity or the job you have, for example, or the business you're doing, how you do it, even when you're not happy with it, will reflect the possibilities of getting more jobs, more business in the marketplace. So, even if you have a job you don't like, you have to do it like you like it. You have to do it in a way that demonstrates the qualities that you want people to see for them to avail the opportunities that you feel will make a difference in your life. Even if the business you're doing is not the big, stereotypical type of Bakresa business. But you must also note that Bakresa at the end sells a piece of ice cream. He sells a packet of juice. So there is a starting point. So even if the business you're doing is not exactly what you desire to do, you must do it in a way that demonstrates your potential in the long run. If you sell and you sell hard, it doesn't matter what you're selling, you will sell. But then if you're selling something and because you don't like it or you don't think it's sellable, and then you continue to sell it with a half spirit, then consequently, what happens is that you also create an environment that denies you opportunities to sell other things because people will look at you and think, this guy is not a salesman. But it's not actually you, it's what you're selling. So don't let what you're doing compromise who you are. Because opportunities are not necessarily about the situation, they are about how you approach the situation. Because the situation will always avail opportunities and they will always be there. But then depending on how you approach the situation, that opportunity will be availed, will suddenly come to the surface. And suddenly people say, that was a wonderful business idea. That was ingenious. But that's normal. That's how people live. That's what people do. What's so abnormal about a car, for example? There's nothing abnormal about it. That's what people do. Because someone took the step, someone identified the opportunity, someone acted on what they identified, someone did something about it, then the rest of us are seeing the difference. They say a genius is someone who knows what other people don't know or sees what other people don't see. So sometimes opportunities need someone to start. And as a consequence, we cannot necessarily say that a certain country has more opportunities than another country. Because opportunities will always be there. The only difference will be the people who are able to start, the people who are able to ignite. And that's why I feel that it's very important as a country to invest in people. Because when you invest in people, when you empower your people to be able to see opportunities, when you enable them to have the vision, to have the confidence, the resolve to address opportunities, not just to see them, but to address the opportunities, then opportunities start to come to the surface. Then suddenly we start to see how aggressive the economy can grow. Aggressively the economy can grow. And today we know how aggressively Tanzania's economy is growing. But it's a function of the people who see those opportunities. So it's not a function of the opportunities, it's a function of the people who see the opportunities and act on them.